Today, we're going to talk about the 5 things that new scuba divers and some instructors don't understand when it comes to scuba diving. Welcome back to the Prana Dive YouTube channel. I'm Turk, you know me. Let's just dive into this stuff, shall we? The number one thing most new divers and many instructors don't understand is that there are many different dive training agencies all around the world. Some of them you can see in the graphic here. You have RAID, PADI, SSI, NAUI, GUE, on and on and on and on. The My PADI, I want to come and get My PADI, that does not exist. There's no such thing as a My PADI. It's great marketing by PADI, but it does not exist. You're looking to get your open water certification. So we need to do better about informing new divers of all the options that are out there for them. That brings us to number 2. And many instructors do not know this. I get asked about it all the time. The second thing is you can take courses with multiple agencies. And once you're certified, it doesn't matter what agency you're certified from, you can dive all around the world, regardless of agency affiliation. There is a World Recreational Scuba Training Council and the Recreational Scuba Training Council. The RSTC via ISO standards is what sets our minimum standards that we as instructors have to train to, and agencies, what their minimum standards are. Now, there are certain agencies that opt to train at the minimum standards. Other agencies have chosen to train a little bit above those minimum standards. This may be controversial to some, but it is in my opinion that the RSTC does not care about you as an instructor.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Now, if they did, which we will look at what the RSTC says that they're there to do, we can see it here. But if they did care about you as a dive instructor, then I think my biggest issue is the tri-dive or DSD. That tri-dive and DSD, the ratio is 4 students to 1 instructor. You need to be in direct contact at all times. I have 2 arms. I'm not an octopus. What makes sense and what's best for safety is to bring that ratio down to 2 to 1. However, to make any changes in the Recreational Scuba Training Council, which these agencies are a part of, it has to be a unanimous decision. The vote has to be unanimous. If one agency says, no, we don't agree, those changes cannot be made. And we're still sitting at 4 to 1 ratio. So how much do they really care about safety? And is it more about just money? I'll let you decide that. The fourth thing that most new scuba divers don't know is that not all dive centers are the same. We are not. Many new divers want to focus on, like, they don't know any better, so hey, where's the cheapest place I can get certified from? The problem with that is the cheapest certification typically isn't the best training. If you're getting 50% off a scuba course, what are they not teaching you? What half of this course are they going to teach you? And what is the information they're going to leave out? The cheapest is typically never the best when it comes to scuba diving. The cheapest gear, the cheapest courses, typically not the best. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below, but I will stand by that decision. As an industry, we need to stop racing towards the bottom when it comes to finances and racing towards the top when it comes to level of training. We need to do better and be better. The fifth thing that many new divers don't understand, and many instructors, is that it is never okay to harass the marine life. You should never pick up an object. Even if you see a shell, there's oftentimes things living in those shells. Do you want someone to come and pick up your house and shake it around and look at it? No, you don't. So why are we doing that to the marine life? We don't want to pick up fish. We don't want to touch puffer fish and make them puff up because we think it's cool. As instructors, you should never carry around one of those poker sticks. If you're a photographer, yes, stick it in the sand. Use it to stabilize yourself to take a picture if that's what you need to do. You should have better buoyancy than that. But I get it. Sometimes there's current. But I see too many instructors picking up plants, looking for things. Oh, look, here's a nudie. But it's hidden. You can't really get a picture of it or you can't see it. So let me move it for my divers. Don't do that. That nudie's there for a reason. A lot of times it's on a specific fauna because it's feeding. Don't move it. Stop doing that. Oh, here's a frogfish that's hiding, but you can't get to it. Let me just push the frogfish out in the open. Well, that frogfish is probably hiding for a reason. I don't know, predators maybe. Don't do that. It's never okay to touch the marine life. As dive professionals, dive masters, instructors, we need to be role models. And that role model behavior should absolutely include never touching the sea life. Don't move things around for your divers so they can see it better. If they can see it, great. If they can't, move on and find something else that they can see. So stop harassing the marine life. So again, the 5 things that most new divers and many instructors don't know is that there are many training agencies around the world, that you can take courses from multiple agencies and it does not matter. The agency is going to accept it. That the RSTC and ISO standards are what sets our minimum standards in training. That not all dive centers are the same and the cheapest is never going to be the best. And harassing marine life is not okay. Let me know what you think about these in the comments below and let us know what you want to hear from us here at Prana Dive. I look forward to talking to you soon, and as always, safe diving.